Moving on now, as data worldwide suggests the number of people with cancer is rising, some poorer nations are now looking to find alternatives to those cancer-causing fuel sources. Well, here in Kenya, a growing number of households are now setting up clean energy options that burn less firewood than traditional stoves. CGTN's Ian Kenyan takes a look at how one company has offered a lifeline to residents from impoverished backgrounds.
In Kenya's Kiambu County, a number of tea plantation workers have replaced their traditional three-stone cook stoves for a much better alternative. Kenyan-based company Burn is producing a range of clean cook stoves using carbon credits. From wood to charcoal and now electricity, Burn aims to produce more energy-efficient cook stoves to help slow down deforestation and lower carbon emissions.
You save a lot using the stove compared to using gas or charcoal. The price of gas sometimes gets to 1,500 or 18, but when you use firewood worth the same amount, it can sustain you for up to 6 months. Charcoal might take you a month after buying a sack for 2,000.
Lois Wanjiku has been using her stove for the past 5 years. She says not only is she saving money, but the change has been beneficial for her family's health as well.
Smoke no longer affects my eyes or gives me a cold because even if I cook with the stove in the sitting room, it does not smoke. The kids will be studying while you are cooking with no issue. Now we must look after finances because the children are in school and need money. Food has to be bought. So the stove is important in enabling us to save more.
The company designs and produces all their cook stoves in Kenya. It is also set to open an assembly line in Nigeria to facilitate distribution in West Africa. So far, the company is approaching 4 million sales. However, with around 2 billion people worldwide relying on open fires for daily cooking, more work remains.
Their willingness to pay, so the amount they were willing to pay for a stove, was on average only about $12 versus like call it 40 to 50 in a purely commercial model that they would be required to pay for that stove. So there's this huge mismatch that has to be filled, and that's what now our entire business is operating on, finding ways to fill that gap between the actual cost to deliver that stove and the willingness to pay or the ability to pay for the mass market. How we do that is through carbon financing and the use of carbon credits.
In 2022, Burn raised $37 million in carbon finance, with carbon neutral royalty being the largest investor. The company also employs kitchen perform tests to quantify carbon credits from cookstove projects by comparing a family's wood consumption between traditional and burn cookstoves.
And we have legitimate credits. We don't have fake credits, meaning the process to get to where we have sold a stove to an actual household, and we have followed up with that household to make sure they see the impact. We are not telling them the impact, they see it for themselves.
African countries, which account for only about 3% of global carbon dioxide emissions, are confronting a rising tide of climate disasters. This is despite repeated financial pledges from rich countries, which have only gone partially fulfilled. Ian Kenyan, CGTN.